Okay, welcome to Heartman Dialogues, where we explore deep questions and open-hearted conversations about living a meaningful life. Today I'm joined by a very remarkable guest. This person is a friend and a brother. Sometimes I don't even know who I'm walking into. Sometimes he's a friend, sometimes he's a brother. And when he's a brother, you get that tough love and the straight talk. So this is a person who left the corporate employment world, took his risks, and started his own company, Vinjari Chimbuko. He started exploring his own life. He's a father of 2 boys, raising amazing 2 boys, present, and we're going to explore his life and how he's running things. And this is Andrew Mboma. I just call him Drew. You're welcome, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Becky.
How do you feel being here? We are serving.
Oh, it's a tough one, but I guess you have to take it, as you say, serving. I have to serve too,
Yeah. Okay. So, my very first question is out of curiosity. Leaving the employment world, corporate, and then public sector, it's just that the risk that most people are most scared to take. When you did that, what were you feeling internally? How did you approach it? And I know most people wouldn't be probably on your side. So how did you feel taking that decision, or what were you feeling internally when you were taking that decision?
Personally, I felt like I had no option. And why I had no option is because of having an opportunity to observe people who were retiring. I was working with several people who were quite like my father's age, who were about to retire. It made me realize that at the end of the day, at some point in my life, if God gives me that long life, I'll have to start again at 60. So it was looking at which way to take. Either start that path that I will start at 60 now, or start it later in life. And since I had no responsibilities at that particular time, I felt like that was the right time to take this route, because I still have no responsibility. I can try many things. I can even jump back and live at my parents' place. At that particular moment, I was like, if I wait longer, I think it will be harder and harder to make that decision. And since it's something that is not optional, at the end of the day, everyone has to go through it. Well, why not take it now than take it later? So that was the idea in my mind at that particular time.
Who did you tell, or who did you consult? And what was the reaction? Did you tell your father?
Yes. Actually, one of the people who inspired me to do that is my father, because I observed his retirement. I saw what was happening. The transition was quite huge and impactful in my own way. And I was like, I don't think I want to go through that. So once I told him that I want to take that route, he was happy about it. And to be honest, everybody in the family was supportive. So I was really glad that people around me are also supportive. And that's when the journey started.
Okay, that's nice, impressive. Most people have that thought in mind, but to go through it, actually, it's a difficult decision.
Indeed it is. But what if you think it in a way that I have no option, but we'll have to go through this at some point in life, then why not do it now? Why not start early enough? When you have energy, you can think better, you can push yourself more. At 60, I think you have slowing down already. The creativity is not the same. The risk that you can take are not the same, because you have a lot of things on your back that you have to look at. One decision could, affect your life in a different way than a person is like, let's say 20, 30. Their decision making the impact of a 6-year-old and a 30-year-old, I don't think are the same. So it's just a matter of sitting down and saying, okay, do I wait or do I do it now?
Okay. Oh, thank you. So
Yes.
Now, you love nature, you love traveling, and at some point you did pursue that path.
Yes.
So, if you just put it in a way on learning, what do you think nature and traveling teaches you that you think the boardroom, probably that path, wouldn't have taught you?
Well, I think nature reveals the real you. The boardroom can never reveal the real you. You see the boss as the boss. You assume a lot of things about your boss. He's intelligent. He has, done very well in school. He's the best performer. He's what? But once you meet that boss, in the nature, it's different. For example, if you're climbing a mountain with that boss, you get to see the weakest points of that particular person. They get tired. They get disappointed. They give up.
Okay.
They are frustrated too.
Yeah.
You
They're
get
hungry
to see,
sometimes.
sorry?
They're
And
hungry sometimes.
hungry sometimes. You get to see them as real human beings. That is why when I was doing tourism, at some point I used to tell people that before you get married, please try your best to climb a mountain with your spouse. You get to know them literally in like 4 or 5 or 6 days. You get the real person, not the person that you see every single day.
Okay.
They're grumpy, the time they wake up, how they feel when they're really tired, how they feel when they're feeling pain. You get to see all the emotions in one go. But when you're in the city with that person, that could take even 30, 40 years for you to understand.
Know them.
Yes.
I never thought of it like that.
Indeed, you can see it. I never even thought of it until I experienced it. That's why I was like, okay, this person is like this, okay? So you get to see characters of different people. But since, for me, these are clients, you see them as they are. At the end of the day, you get a different kind of respect from those people because they know you and you know them. Not this
Not the picture you paint.
the picture you paint about this person. No, it's completely different.
Wow. Okay.
So I would advise nature, to be honest, because it really helps you to filter a lot of things.
Okay. I want to know someone. We're going to hike.
Hike, climb a mountain, do something like that. You know their fears. You know that what. Okay, you're camping at night somewhere. Some people are afraid of the environment, like let's say snakes and things like that. So like, you see the real person. Where will you meet a snake in
the boardroom?
In the boardroom.
Okay.
Where will you see a person who has is it height issues, like when they're on top?
Okay. The fear of heights.
The fear of heights and things like that. How will you know? But that environment gets to reveal all that. So it's easier what type of food they like, what they don't like. Because you get to be provided certain things. And you're like, okay. At night, if you have, do they snow? Do they not snow? Because you're coming with them. So you get to know a lot. When they wake up in the morning, how are they? How do they react? How do they act in the natural environment? Water is not enough. You have to bathe in a certain way. So you're like, okay, how is this person? If it's hygiene, then you see it. All the tiny things that you would never know, you get to know them in a very short period of time.
Yeah. And I think in the corporate world, when you're in the boardroom, we forget we are whole human beings. Like you cannot ignore the part where you're scared of this. You cannot ignore the part where it's like we operate like robots. But then when you go to nature, I think, as you said, the whole you is revealed now on how you react to things.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were leaving employment,
Yes.
yeah, was there like an affirmation for yourself? What made you feel like this is the right path for me?
The first thing was like seeing the people who were retiring, who I was working with. Secondly was like, in my heart, I did not see myself making change where I was. I just felt like I need to make change. And at that particular time, I didn't see Tanzanians like traveling locally. So I had the passion. I just wanted to see local people
Traveling.
taking selfies of Serengeti, taking selfies of Ngorongoro, taking selfies of Mount Killimanjaro, selfies of Zanzibar, not selfies of Dubai,
Yeah.
not selfies of I'm in Spain, I'm in Japan. I wanted to see these people who are influencing their society to influence them to visit their own places. You don't have to take a flight for it to be very good thing or very memorable thing. You can just get into a bus, go to destination B, take the selfie, and inspire more people to do that. At the end of the day, you can depend. At that time, my thinking was like you can depend on international tourism, but this local tourism is what is going to sustain these companies and all these people constantly throughout the year. And I think at the end of the day, when we all went through COVID, it proved that the local market is what sustained a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we had started way before that. So when we started seeing like people, like celebrities in our context doing it, that was not our doing, but it felt very nice to see that change.
That's what was anchoring you at first, like this is what I want for it to be the right path. Okay. Yeah, and good now that you say that, because even the way I remember Vinjari and all that, I have a selfie that we took. I remember we went to a wedding in Zanzibar.
Yes.
And then we did the dolphin thing. And then we took a selfie and you said, let us all say Vinjari.
Yes.
That I have that memory, and that's like almost 10 years back.
Indeed.
And for me, I feel like I used to tell people that trip changed me, because I remember you and Ella were telling me about in your 20s, travel, find yourself, and it just anchored a lot of things in my life, like how I approach things and how I think. So I get your point in local tourism, because when you speak of dolphins,
Yes.
people would think that you need to go to another country to see them, while you could just see them in Zanzibar and you're even allowed to swim with them. So I think it's good that you had that in your mind as a motive, not just I want to leave employment, but to actually make impact.
Indeed.
Yeah, so maybe Vinjari, that later turned to Chimbuko,
Yes.
that was your baby, like this is your company and all that. Can you tell me about the journey? Where did the name come from? What were you thinking about when you were opening the company?
At the beginning, Vinjari, the meaning Vinjari, it was just like the idea of like going around while having fun. And then when it turned into Chimbuko is really like the source. Now, this is my own thinking. It's not anything proven or anything. I somehow believe like Tanzania, especially Ngorongoro crater, is where Noah's Ark landed.
Oh.
That's my thinking. Please.
And I say, this man, he can just change quickly and wisdom comes in.
So please, like hypothetical, my own thinking, my own wishing. Because on the side of it, not too far from the crater, there is that skull of the oldest human being. The animals, Noah had animals in the ark.
Yeah, the 2x2, yes.
And there is a migration. Animals go around that area every year. They never leave. They just rotate that area. So I'm like, there's something interesting. And then if you look not too far, around that area, during Noah's time, it was water flooding. Look at how Tanzania is surrounded by water. Lake Tanganyika, Lake Nyasa, Lake Victoria, Lake Eyasi, and all water bodies. And how are they? Some of them are in a crater. Is it the Yes, we call it the great crater from the top to the bottom. I think my thinking now. Like that's how the water was opened up to go back to the ocean. And sorry, my own thinking. And I'm like, okay. When he landed, the dove went out to take a leaf to bring back to show that there's life outside. I'm like, that dove must have gone to Mount Kilimanjaro. Because it is the highest peak,
Yes.
single standing mountain, like in Africa. The highest single standing mountain in the world, I believe. So they went there, they took the piece of leaf, brought it back there to prove the skull is there, the animals are there. We have fishes, we have migration in the Serengeti, we have migration in the water bodies in Mafia. You know, there are animals who come from other oceans, they come and breed in Tanzania. So I'm like, and the peace in Tanzania and the people, the way they are welcoming different. And I'm like,
This is where it
this
all
is
comes
God.
from.
This is the source. After the last one, when God did it, this is the place. So if you're lucky enough to be born in Tanzania, you live at the Chimbuko La Dunia. So that's how Chimbuko came about.
Wow. Okay. You always blow my mind. You're thinking like, I don't even know how did you connect all the dots and start thinking like that. But when you explain it, it makes sense. Yeah.
And then to finalize it, Noah lived with animals inside the boat. The only people who live with animals now are the Maasais. They're not scared of a lion. They're not scared of any animal. When you go to Ngorongoro, you see them around there. I don't think there are any other people around the world who are comfortable with animals as the Maasais. So I believe that the Maasais are Noah's great grandkids, because they proved that people can exist with animals inside a boat.
Wow.
Because they do that right now. You find a very young boy in the Ngorongoro crater with cows, and a kilometer later you see a lion, and life goes on.
Okay.
So in that thinking, I'm like, okay, Chimbuko, Tanzania,
This is where it comes from.
if you come, you're visiting what?
The source. Nice.
And if you and to add up to that, sorry, you touched a different thing. Like, I'm so excited.
This is your topic.
And then for those who really want to pray, for those who are believers, there's a route called machame at Mount Killimanjaro. For some reason, it's 40 kilometers to the top, and for some reason, it takes 7 days.
The machame route.
The machame route.
Yeah.
For some reason, if you see how God created the world, it took 7 days, and it takes 7 days to climb that mountain. And on the 6th is when you start resting, going back. On the 7th, you go back to the bottom. So it's a tough life from day 1 to 6. And then on the 7th day, you start resting, going back. God is found in higher places. If you look at books, people went high up the mountain to pray. So I'm like, anybody taking the route via Machame, for example, to the top, I think it's just a prayer you're doing. Your body is going through the pain that you've never gone through before. And prayer is all about sort of like, say, sacrificing yourself or torturing yourself for the sake of
the spirit.
That. And then why is it 40 kilometers? Because 40 means a lot of things. It relates with many things. 40 fasting days, 40 years, 40. That number 40. So I'm like, okay, if you also want, and not only that, to add up, when you start, you're in Dar es Salaam, the heat. The weather goes to 0. You come across the desert, you see the ice, and you come back up to the normal environment. It means when you're climbing that mountain for those days, you're visiting Dubai, you're visiting the snow in the snowy countries. You get to experience the whole world in one single place. the weather conditions of the whole world are at Mount Kilimanjaro. So even the Noah people, before they started going around the world, they just had to climb Kilimanjaro to see how the world is.
Wow.
They felt the cold, they felt the desert, they knew the whole environment before even getting to where they're living now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm stretching it now.
No, it's fine. So, okay, that's another way to look at it. Okay, now if I'm thinking of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, that thought is going to be in my mind.
You to do it.
Yeah, so those people who are waiting for the cable car, it's not worth it.
No, it's not worth it.
Okay.
You don't get to feel it.
Okay, that's fine. So, we've talked about traveling and all that, and you like your life right now. And so, in a world that glorifies speed, like everything in a hurry, yeah, how do you slow down? How do you stay grounded in slowing down, like having the simple life?
I think what has pulled me to that area is understanding very two sad things: death and money. Death proves to you that you own nothing, and money proves to you that you're just more responsible than the other person. The more you have money, you just have more responsibilities. Money is not for you. Money is for you to give to people. That is why at the end of the day, when you get a salary, you pay dada, you pay rent, or you pay mlinzi, you buy food, you pay a bajaji, you pay a tuk-tuk. You keep paying. And if you don't pay, that money doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
The point you get to say, like, I'm keeping this money on the side. If you are to go now, that money is not yours. Only the spent money is yours. The place that you're living now, there's somebody who called it a home. The family home that you have, that you call family home, was somebody else's family land, probably. So it means, like, in a few years, it will be somebody else's place. Your great-great-grandfather, possibly you don't know his name. I believe you don't even care to know about him. That will be the same story about you after a few years. So when you say you're important now, I really don't understand this importance that you're talking about.
It's not forever.
It's not forever. And you are just like dust. At some point in life, you'll be forgotten. And no one will even know that you actually existed. So understanding that brings you back to say, yo, think about it deeply, see how you move.
Okay. Okay, that's a...
You have more money, then you'll be enriching Lamborghini company. You'll be giving them the company. The best contractor in Dar es Salaam, you give them money to build your house. You open a factory, you employ people. At the end of the day, you're just spending. And then when you're gone, you are gone. And all that empire that you built, where is it? Somebody else is making decisions after you. So at the end of the day, vyote, like I would use Swahili, vyote vijazavyo ulimwengu ni mali ya Mungu.
Yeah.
We are here to build things for God, not for ourselves. We don't have the capacity to own them forever. Only God decides who will own them later. But our job is to build.
Okay. That's okay. That's a... I'm getting like a aha moment. Like, so all the money that I want to have, that I'm searching for,
Yes.
is for me to give,
Yes.
not to keep.
You are just like water from land going to the ocean. That's money. You cannot have it. You cannot hold it. It's just passing through your hands. It's coming from the main source of the water, coming to your tap at home. So you could be the biggest pipe at the beginning. Somebody could be the smallest pipe at the home. if something happens, it's just passing through. And at the end of the day, when you get to your hands, it disappears.
Yeah.
When you go to the bathroom after you shower, it disappears. It goes in, it's used somewhere else. And then it goes to the ocean. Maybe vaporization happens, it goes up to the sky, comes back as rain again. That is what it does. That's money. You don't own it. So this fight, think about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking about it, yes, but it's a very tough one, I think, to accept. As I said, in a world that glorifies speed and money, all that, to stay grounded, to understand that narration and then stay grounded that if it's the money, yes, I'll look for it, I'll have it, and I'll give it away, to be at peace. The point is not like not having it at all, but even the chase to be at peace, not like the chase that you give up everything because I'm chasing for money, not understanding that this is something you give away. Okay, I understand your point, and you're giving me more things to think about now. So, now that we've talked about money,
Yes.
how do you define success right now, and compared to how you did 10 years back?
I define success as peace.
Peace.
As long as I have peace, I'm successful.
But
It's bigger than anything.
so it changes every day, because you can have peace right now and then just something else disrupts your peace. So
Challenges are always there, but peace in understanding. Like, okay, let's take an example. I have friends, I have family, I have parents, I have a spouse, I have children. Let me look at my life and look at when I have challenges. Who serves me more? Who suffers more? So once I realize that, who is the person who's usually with me at the hospital, or when somebody has passed away in the family, or I have an issue at home, the first responder is the first person that I should give my energy to. The second one, in that order. But in life, most of the times we serve people who never serve us back.
yeah.
You are with this person, you give your energy, you give your time, yes, they have a place in your life, but prioritize the people who are the closest to you. If you have a spouse, that is the first person to hear you have a problem in your bed. Your parents don't even know. If you have children, those will be the second people will be told, like your father or your mother is not well. And then your parents will be called. And then when you go to the hospital, if those people are not there, they will ask, is there a relative? Have you ever gone to such a place like a hospital and they ask, like, where's the friend? Not that they're not important, but know how to prioritize. That will give you peace. Because normally as people, we tend to do things for people, hoping for them to do something for us.
Return.
But what we need to do is serve people, not expecting anything in return. That's the peace that I'm talking about. Now serve them accordingly, because we're here to serve. A friend has an issue, serve them. But make sure you prioritize the most important people to you. If you don't have a spouse, parents, a mother is sick, make sure you give it your all. Not when she has passed on, you're like, I wish I had done this and that and that for mother. No, that's not right. Do it now, so when it happens, you're like, I did the best I could. You have peace in you. That's the peace that I'm talking about. Do the best for everybody. Do your best for everybody. So that when a moment comes, you're like, nah, I did my best. Be patient enough, be kind enough, be helpful enough, be whatever enough, so that when it happens, you're like, I did my... A parent is sick until they pass on, you're like, I did Mama, Baba, rest. I was there. I did that. A spouse is going, you're like, rest. I did that. A child is growing. Be there. So that when they are grown, they are also even thinking or remembering how you lived with them. But in the current world, we are busy fighting on, they say what?
Material things.
Nini the paper.
Chase the paper.
Chasing the paper.
Chasing the paper. Chasing the bag.
The bag. While at the end of the day, Dada is the one bonding with your children. Children remember Dada more than a mother or father. Which is fine, yes, you collect all them. And then when you get old, most likely, they're also going to serve you with the money, not with the love. You need to go to the hospital, here's the money. Here's the driver. Here is the water.
Okay.
So is that, if you do, I believe if you do that like well in advance, somehow the universe has the way to reward you with it later in life.
Okay. Okay, so success amounts to peace.
Peace.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so you've said something like, not when they pass on, the parents pass on, now you think this is when I should have done this. So in terms of, for example, I'm just thinking of death. You brought it up.
Yes.
You have two boys that you're raising. In terms of generational wealth, there will come a time where you pass on. What do you think is important? What you leave behind for them, or what you leave within? If you have an option for only one, it's not like I can leave behind something for them and I can leave something within. If you can only leave one behind, like wealth, or what you leave within them.
I think the biggest inheritance a child could have is God. Leaving God inside them. Leaving the word inside them. If they go with the word, they will fight any war. Because God is the provider of everything. We know many people have started from zero and have become heroes. Giving somebody everything doesn't mean that will help them. It could, at the end of the day, ruin them.
But even leaving God within them, one thing that I've come to realize lately, no matter how much you induce in a child when it comes to religion or God, the relationship with God is very personal. So that is something they find out on their own.
I think I'll take it differently because of how I've been raised. I've been raised differently. My mother was like, you need to go to church. My father was a person who was like, every question you ask him, he tells you, bring me the Bible. And his response would be, read this verse. So I've known that all the answers of the world
are in
the Bible. The Bible is not as the pastor preaches it to you. It's how you read it and translate it. Everybody can have a very different meaning through the same verse inside the Bible. It depends on how it comes to you. It depends on how the Holy Spirit guides you in seeing what is in that line. So once the word is in them, at the end of the day, they will remember their commandments. There's this person who went to struggle but survived. There was Job. There was Joseph. Remember Joseph's journey? You know what Joseph did? For example, I usually use Joseph. I'm like, in the current world, people say like, in the Christian side now, nakemea mapepo. I'm like, if it's kukemea mapepo, how many mapepos would Joseph kemea in his journey to become the prime minister? Siblings threw him, sold him. He went into Potiphar's house, and then the wife was like, he raped me. He went to jail. All those places would have been really praying and casting out things. Looking at it, God was just preparing you for the position. So God prepared everyone for the position. And getting into that position, you have to go through different challenges. Now, we take challenges as we are fighting Satan. while challenges is God training
It
us.
could be the process.
Is for Becky to be ready for this. She has to go through this. And if you have not noted in life, we go through a loop of the same cycle of things until we learn what we are supposed to learn in that thing. That's when we have managed to go to another level. So there is schooling, going to school. And then there is God's school that you have to graduate every single stage, from faith level 1, faith level 2, faith level 3. And once you get to a level, that is when he opens up his blessings. Should I give this person money? Okay, when I give this person money, he does A, B, C, D, F, G. So the more I do it, the more I lose him. Let me limit it.
Okay.
Should I give this person power? What does he do with the power? Let me limit it. So the more I believe, the more you prove that you can handle the gift that God has given you.
Yeah.
I think the more he amplifies it in you.
Yeah.
And as soon as you are, he turns around and you're gone in seconds. That's my belief. Because we have seen that in the kings before. And
You finish your purpose, you're out.
done.
So you should start praying for God to delay our purpose. Or
We should start praying that he reveals to us as early as possible, so that we can go back home fulfilled, because we came from somewhere.
wow, you're talking more about death every time. I'm scared of dying. So
It's one thing that we should remember that exists and is part of us.
okay,
We cannot run away from it.
okay,
And in the preparations of life, we have to also think of that aspect. And the journey in the world is short. 70, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. That's not long. Yesterday, I was a kid. Now, almost probably halfway. What do we do? You have to, in life, you're a baby, prepare to be a teenager. You're a teenager, prepare for uni. You're uni, prepare for work. You're at work, prepare for retirement. You're in retirement, start preparing for death. Just prepare for the next stage in life.
okay.
Because however much you ignore it,
It will come.
the time is coming.
Okay.
Sorry, it's becoming sad instead of like excited.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, okay. So you say God is what you'd like to live within your kids. Okay. Again, to the same question now, raising boys. In a world where there's a lot of influence and initiatives on women empowerment, which is good. I'm happy about it. But for you as a father raising boys, do you have a fear or concern that there's some things that your boys will miss out or they might not really fully understand? Yeah.
In the current world, I think my biggest challenge as a father is for the boys to see their mother as the person that, like, I believe somehow that boys always marry women who are like their mothers. So I think the biggest task for me is not the world, it's their own mother. The way they see their mother is how they want
To marry.
their partner to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my task is not even in the world. My task is
Is within
within
the home.
the
Yeah.
home. Pray to God. She's a different human being. I'm a different human being. But pray to God that God molds her to be an example of what the children will want to marry. So if that is sorted,
Then you're good.
then I'm good.
Wow.
Because that is what they will be looking for out there. The type of marriage is the marriage that I have with my spouse in the house is what will inspire them.
Yeah.
So I have to work on myself more than the world. The world has many things, but I think the child learns more from actions inside the house more than the world outside. So once they note something is different inside the house, they're like, this is not right, because at home it's different. This is not right, because at home it's different. That's how I take it.
Well, I think that's very interesting, and I appreciate that you said how they see their mother, because I feel like maybe us, we grew up in a generation, or what I'm seeing, most men focus on being a good father. That's all. They don't focus on how the kids are seeing your spouse or your partner. So I think we're raised in a generation where even girls, as they marry people who are more like their father because they were cared for. They know my dad was good to me, but was he good to mom? That's another question. But then they come to a marriage that your spouse now is not good to you, but probably good to the kids, and you're wondering, where is this coming from? So I appreciate that you mentioned from that perspective, because I really think there's a gap on when men in families,
Yes.
they focus on the kids and they forget that your partner would also have the impact on your kids. So the wisdom again I'm talking about, that's where it is.
But that wisdom is quite tricky, because there are two things there. Men are raised knowing their responsibility, and that is why they focus on that. Could you tell me what women think their responsibility is?
Now there you're putting me on spot. That's
Okay.
a challenge.
It's just a thought. Just think about it, because we have a generation worldwide whereby a woman will say, "This is the type of man I want."
That I want.
At a man, they don't have standards. They just accept. A man says, "I want to be the provider." The woman says, "I'm looking for a provider." Now, the best word will be a woman to also say what she is going to do. We have a generation of receivers. We have like a gender of receivers, not givers. Boys are givers, women are receivers. Until we men learn to receive, and women, I would like to put it that women learn to give, so that men can also understand receiving.
Receive.
To be so amazing.
Okay, now that we're opening a whole window of another topic, but
Yes, for another
as you mentioned, maybe women don't understand what their role is. I think what I've come to understand recently, there's a lot of teachings that are focused on women, especially when they're getting into marriage, and everyone will teach based on their experience, based on what they see. But again, what I've come to realize is, when you anchor yourself in faith, I will not be able to tell you what a woman is supposed to do or what her role is in marriage. But I would say, if that woman is anchored in faith with God, she will know what she needs to do. And again, she will get that mentality that I'm going into this marriage to serve, not to be served. And also, so the Holy Spirit will guide her in the right way on what to expect and what to do in that marriage. So it's there's a lot of instructions that are out there, but again, I think the anchor is, when you have a relationship with God, you will know what to do. So, yeah.
And I'm glad you're back to the point whereby the current movement, if you look at the Bible, I don't think that on the same path. They're challenging each other. For another moment, try and see, is this change exactly as the holy books are trying to tell a woman to be? Or is the change the opposite of what the holy books are trying to guide a woman to do? Both the Bible and the Quran. That's our basis. That's our foundation. As long as the movement is in line with the foundation, then we're on the right path. If it's not, then there's somebody playing with our minds, and we might realize when it's a bit too late.
That's a tough conversation. that's a really tough conversation. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, there's a way that we need to look at it when it comes to faith and when it comes to the movement. Yes, but for now, I'll pack it. I don't want to say too much. and also for the interest of time.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other thing is, there's a lot of trends, how with things we've normalized in the world. Yes, the other one we've talked about, yes, but there's a lot of things that we've normalized. The hustle culture, digital simulation, like people being on their phone. If you had a chance, like a want to pause one of the things that we've normalized in this world, and you say, like, if I'm the person to control this, I can put a pause on this things that we've normalized in the world, what would that be?
I would say the noise. And please understand me what I mean by noise. Inside every person, there is the inner them who wants to come out. But the noise around them never allows them
To come out.
to come out. I believe the fight in the world is for your inner self to come out. You have a talent. Education limits you. He tells you have a degree. While without a degree, you're very good at knitting. Without a degree, you're just a simple contractor. Without a degree, you are something without it. But what is the noise around the world? Have a degree. We won't accept you unless you have it. Many areas of our life, we are limited because of the noise.
The noise.
There's too much noise.
Yeah.
Do this, do that. This is right, this is wrong. But what does the inner me tell me? Can we pause for a second and listen to the inner me?
Yeah.
Even when the inner you tells you, can you rest? No, I have to go to this party. Can you rest? Simple as resting. It's okay, because resting, people could translate it as laziness. Who translates that? The world. But your body is telling you, can you please take a pause so that I can breathe? You're like, no. There's party, there's this, there's that, there's that. So I would say the noise. Noise, cut it out. Listen to yourself.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's important. There's a quote that I once saw that says, who are you before the world told you who you need to be? Yeah, so the noise, it's true. Sometimes we are told, this is what you've got in your degree, this is how you go about life, and you, again, if success is peace, then you don't have that because you're following things that are
inside me.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, but I'm doing my best. I'm fighting to get there. Every day is a step. Every day is a step. Cutting out the noise. Cut it out. Listen. Listen carefully. If you're getting an intuition, this is not right, follow it. It doesn't matter who tells. It doesn't matter if you're alone. It doesn't matter if friends don't accept it. It doesn't matter. As long as peace inside is there, go for it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what they call you. Go for it.
Okay.
Because all these people, when things go wrong, they'll still say, we told you.
Yeah.
So it's better yourself tells you. It means you're like, okay, myself told me. I'm fine with it. I'll deal with whatever consequences I face.
Okay. The noise. We need to shut it down. Yeah. So in your journey now, what is one habit you say you had to unlearn, if to shut down the noise, to feel like you're living a meaningful life? There's a habit you say, you know what, this thing has to go. This habit, and it's on yourself now. Like, I have to improve on this habit.
I think the habit I would say is like changing according to the income.
You had to unlearn that.
I had to unlearn that because I can afford soda for 600 shillings. But here I go and buy the soda for 2,500 shillings. While the quality of the soda inside is the same. I'll buy a Kilimanjaro water bottle here for, let's say, 800 shillings. While on the corner, I'll buy for 1,000 or 1,200 shillings. So learning to live an average life,
regardless
of what's happening. So a friend could have a very good car that is costing a lot of money, I don't have to be pushed to have that car. Let me just have a car which takes me from point A to B.
Even if you can afford it.
Affording is relative. There's always a way you can use that thing better. Afford it for what purpose? Okay, you have a 4x4 and the road to your home is tarmac. Why are you having a 4x4?
The music, the sunroof.
And then you park it outside, you go into your house. How much money is parked outside there? You know it. Can't it help somewhere? Can't it do something? Can't it change somebody? Isn't there a calling inside you that has a purpose that can bring change? Because I believe the memories that come back is how you served. That's what people say with. So the tiniest change, if you can utilize that capital, that money to do it, it's good enough. So it's how you try and take it.
Wow. Okay. That's a tough one. I'm not sure how I can relate that to my life. Like, have a constant life no matter how much your income changes.
A simple example. 150,000 trouser and a 25,000 shillings trouser probably could serve the same purpose, and probably the quality could just be a tiny different. But one has a brand, one doesn't have a brand. In a certain circle, the brand is important. So you want to fit in that circle. That's why you get that brand. You have this purse, Gucci, Versace. In your circle, people take you as a certain person. They will magnify you, see you as a very successful person. But what does that do to you? It's like the gratification of yourself, right? And then what after that? Sawa.
You have it.
You have it, okay?
Wow.
So it's a learning process.
Yeah.
But to some people, that is very important. But when you notice that you're nothing on earth, then you're like, okay.
There's no point. There's no point.
What's the point?
Okay. I'll take that as a learning point. I'll structure it in my own way.
Yes.
Yeah, because I still think until I have it, maybe I'll have it, then I need the Mercedes. Then if I have it and I feel like it's not serving the purpose, I know, yes, they're serving, but also there are some things I think it's fine if you have them. It's a learning point, so I'll take it and I'll see what I'll do with it. Where for the things that I can have and for the things that I can't have, I'll choose my battle. Where not to change my life with the income.
Indeed. And if it gives you satisfaction, give you the happiness, go for it. Go for it. Because a person could ask you, you're limiting yourself to that extent for what? But a person could also say, you're doing all that for what?
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
So it's a choice.
It's a choice. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Now, for the interest of time, I would like to have this conversation keep going, and it's amazing. But for the interest of time, maybe the last question is, when it's all said and done, Andrew is gone, what do you want to be remembered for?
I just hope I would have served the purpose that God sent me to earth to do.
Do you think you know your purpose now?
Honestly, no. Honestly, no. I'm on an autopilot.
Okay.
I'm told turn right, I turn right. Turn left, I turn left. Maybe the picture will come out at the end. But to tell you that I know,
Yeah.
and I don't believe anybody knows it, because at the end of the day, where we end up, everybody, it's usually just fate takes us there. I don't think you studied knowing where you're going to work. I don't even think you studied knowing what you're going to study. It just happened. I don't think you chose the place you're staying. I didn't even choose the country I'll be born. I didn't choose my mother and father. So I believe I'm just going through a certain
Autopilot.
autopilot.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. And lastly, maybe, do you have any question for me? Don't make it a hard one.
No, I think in between I did ask a question, and I think and then we talked about women. I think that was a good enough
Question to put
question.
me on spot, so it's fine.
Yes,
So you're happy, no question.
no question. At all.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for making time. I think I'm going to look at this episode again and take these things because, yeah. But thank you for making time. Thank you for your humility to say yes to come here. I know you're not even on Instagram right now or anywhere. So I know it took a lot for you to come here. So I really thank you. And I believe this is going to be impactful to people because I know it's impactful to me. Always reaching out to you for wisdom, advice, and yeah, it anchors me also to focus on the things that really matter in life. So I really thank you, Andrew.
I thank you for the opportunity,
Yeah.
and giving me also the opportunity to serve. And amongst all the people you decided that Andrew should be part of it. So
Yes.
I'm honored, and thank you very much.
Thank you. So everyone, thank you for listening. Don't forget to share, follow, subscribe, and I know this is going to be very impactful to you. So thank you and enjoy.